3.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Halftime Live on Brew Sports. It is a Friday edition of the program, but more importantly, it is Cinco de Mayo. How are you, Tanner
Is it
Burke?
Cinco de Mayo?
Did you
is
not
that today?
know? Today is.
Today is Cinco de Mayo?
Yesterday was May 4th, I guess, and so I guess the next logical day is May 5th.
You know, I always get the 2 days mixed up between
Do you?
May the 4th and Cinco de Mayo. I don't know how I get them mixed
Right.
up, but I came prepared today.
And now people are saying it's Return to the 5th, though. People are still trying to
Return
make
of
this,
the 5th?
yeah,
A Star
so
Wars
Revenge
thing?
of the 5th. People
Listen,
are trying to make it like a 2-day.
Cinco de Mayo. Yesterday was May the 4th be with you.
Hey, man, the Star Wars galaxy is a big
I just
want to
say, every time I said that after the show yesterday, it felt like I was saying it with a lisp.
You just
so
perpetually were lisping yesterday.
I couldn't help it, man.
You got to work on your lisp.
All right, I did bring a surprise for you, though.
You did?
Yes,
I like surprises.
prepared for May the 4th.
Okay.
Be with you and Cinco de Mayo. So
yes.
I prepared with a beautiful margarita, and I
Oh.
believe you are the Empire, so I will give you the Empire
I suppose
glass,
I can be the Empire
and
today.
I will be the Rebel. It's
You
like
usually are.
my high school years. So
Perfect.
cheers, happy
Cheers.
Cinco de Mayo
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
belated May the 4th be with you. And
Phenomenal.
everybody watching out there. So
Phenomenal. Well, today is absolutely a party. People are already commenting. I feel like our commenters today should only comment in Espanol. I mean, Adam says, Buenos tardes, amigos. Buenos tardes, Adam.
Buenos tardes.
Trevor also says, Yo tengo un gato en mis pantalones. You should probably figure out why there's a cat in your pants, Trevor. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm sure there's somebody that can help you with that. But we are, of course, talking about Cinco de Mayo. But one thing that we are going to talk about, actually, in just a moment, a good friend of ours is going to be swinging by. The Kentucky Derby
Big
takes
day
place tomorrow. Did you? I
Big day
honestly,
tomorrow.
Until a couple of days ago, I always know it comes up, but I always
Yes.
forget when exactly it is.
Well,
but it's taking place tomorrow.
I had that thought cross my mind yesterday or the day before, where this is one of those events where everybody cares about it,
right.
but nobody really knows when it is, and they don't care about it until the weekend that it comes up. So, I have always loved the Kentucky Derby. I've always put my $2 bets down or whatever ever since I was a kid. And it's not like the U.S. Open or the Masters, where the Masters is every April, and every time it comes around, I'll hit February, I'll start seeing the commercials, and I'm
Right.
like, oh man, the Masters is right around the corner.
And then it's like, bam.
No, they don't
whoa.
start showing Kentucky Derby commercials 4 months in advance. So, but it is a fun event and a historic one at that. So
It is. It
very
absolutely
exciting.
is. Well, we've actually got a good friend from the local Milwaukee area. His name is George Mallet. For those that know him, he is one of the evening anchors on today's TMJ4 here in Milwaukee. He does join us now here on Halftime. George, a very good day to you, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing well, and here's the thing. Here's the way to remember the Kentucky Derby. It is always the first Saturday in May.
Good to know.
Oh, I was going to say, I
Yeah,
feel like
so
it has to be somewhat of a relatable or singular kind of
Some
a day.
continuity,
so
for
that
sure.
makes a lot of sense then. First Saturday in May.
And so, obviously the date changes, as does the first Saturday in May. So, of course, I'm obsessed. So I start looking at 2-year-old colts in the fall before the following year, and
Wow.
and then I watch all of the Derby prep races, the Florida Derby, the Arkansas Derby, the Santa Anita Derby, as we build toward the Kentucky Derby, and you start to kind of size up the competition and pick a favorite. I'm a lousy handicapper, but my heart does me good. Very often I'll pick a horse that I like for some sentimental reason or pedigree reason, and they'll do well in the Derby. So my secret weapon, dumb luck.
George, what gets you most excited about the Triple Crown? I mean, there's horse races all throughout the entire year, but the Triple Crown is what really gets the country excited for horse racing as a whole. I know for me, watching American Pharoah in 2015 complete the Triple Crown, that was pretty exciting. It hasn't happened since
huge.
the 70s. And back then it was a little
Yeah.
more common, I think. So will we ever see another Triple Crown winner? And what is it about the Triple Crown that gets you most excited?
Well, the Triple Crown is such a test of stamina and resolve for everybody involved, because these horses, they're all 3 years old. They have 4 and 5 weeks off between races leading up to the Kentucky Derby. But once the Kentucky Derby hits, then bam, 2 weeks later they have to run the Preakness Stakes, and then bam, 3 weeks after the Preakness they have to run the Belmont Stakes. And the thing is, new horses can come in. I mean, you win the Kentucky Derby, and then you come to the Preakness, and you might face the top runners that you saw 2 weeks earlier in the Derby, but you're going to face fresh horses too, horses that maybe are trained right there in Maryland that have just been gearing up for the shorter Preakness, and they're fresh and ready to take you on. So it's a significant achievement. And yes, I do think it'll happen again. That was the big talk preceding American Pharoah. But I remember the 70s. I'm old enough to have been. I remember it had been a long, long time before Secretariat won in 1973. It had been Citation in the 40s. So everybody thought, well, will this ever happen again? And not only did he win, he set track records in the Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont, which he won by 31 lengths.
Wow.
And then we had Seattle Slew, and then finally we had Affirmed, all in the 70s, and we nearly had another one the next year with Spectacular Bid.
That's true.
So it was a nice sort of the golden era. But of course, that was sort of the waning time when horse racing was still. That's my dog. That's my dog.
He's excited about the Derby.
He is. He's fired up.
He is nuts. Yeah, and so it anyway, it's a lot of fun, and I turn inside out this week every year. So,
well, rightfully so.
Hey,
I mean,
Spot.
rightfully so. I mean, this is one of those tournaments, and I was talking to people off the air before we went on, Tanner, too, about how I feel like the Kentucky Derby almost has that same level of prestige as the Masters do as well, too. I mean, not a lot has really changed about it. It's one of those. It's kind of
It's like Wimbledon almost.
It is. It's a funny thing to think about. It's like people pack a stadium and they watch horses run around and they drink mint junipers, and everybody loves it. Everybody has a great time, and like a lot of people don't actually understand what is really going on, but it's just an event. It's something that you can say, hey, I went to the Kentucky Derby. It's almost more like a bragging right nowadays than it actually is like a lot of people clearing their schedules. It's
fun. I've been to the Derby twice, and I was covering a horse named Fleet Alex when I was a reporter in Philadelphia. And so I went to all 3 Triple Crown races with him and field anchored our morning show from out at all the racetracks. But it is a place to be seen. You know, the celebrities that are at the Kentucky Derby, it's like being in Hollywood, and everybody's there to be seen, and not necessarily because they have a clue about anything that's happening on the track.
I was about to say,
exactly.
And I always love the aerial shots too from the airports right by Louisville, and it's all the private planes just lining up in there.
Oh yeah,
a lot of money there for
sure. Lots of money. So talk to us briefly, George, here before we let you run about the field this year. Looking at some of the top bets, you've got Classic Empire, 4-1 favorite, Irish Warcry, 6-1 favorite, among others. How do you see this field running this year, or this race rather? And who are you picking as your potential favorite?
I'm picking Irish Warcry, and that again, I want to preface: don't bet money because of anything I say, because I am not a gifted handicapper. I know some people who can really handicap. But Irish Warcry, I'm partial to him because I covered his father. His father was Curlin, and Curlin won the Preakness Stakes and then ended up having just a great year, ended up winning the Breeders' Cup Classic as a 3-year-old, won the Breeders' Cup Classic a second time, went to Dubai and won the Dubai World Cup. Jeez. At one point, he was the biggest money winner in the history of horse racing, and he's passed a lot of that specialness onto his son. But Irish Warcry has one of the best trainers in Graham Motion. He is stabled a few miles from my mother's house. My mother lives in Delaware, and he's stabled in Fairhill, Maryland, which is the same place where Barbaro trained. And I've been looking at his workouts, and he did 6 furlongs, and a furlong is 1/8 of a mile, in a $1:13 the other morning on that track, Fairhill. And I've ridden on that track, and it's deep. It's not a fast track, and for him to just routinely knock out 6 furlongs in 1:13, just tells me that he is, and he's peaking right at the right time too. His Wood Memorial was really impressive. Now he flopped in the Fountain of Youth Stakes down at Gulfstream, which makes you question, well, how does he travel? But he's been at Churchill now for the better part of a week, and by all accounts, he's looking really good in the mornings there. I just think, and I love Graham Motion. Graham Motion is a clean trainer, unlike some of the very famous trainers that you see and hear about. Nobody talks about it, but some of these guys they're just bad dudes in terms of I ride horses, so I don't like to see horses drugged. And some of these guys are bad that way. Graham Motion, he's all about feeding his horses right, tweaking their grain, adding the right amount of molasses, working them hard in the morning. He takes them out on the trails there in Fairhill, Maryland. They're not always on the track. He keeps their brains in the game. Sometimes his horses don't even need a lead pony to take them to the gate because they're horses that are comfortable being horses. They're well trained. They know more than just how to run 35 miles an hour and turn left.
Which is ultimately
I'm a big
which
fan
is
of him.
important.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, yes, it is. But yeah, you mentioned Classic Empire. He's a son of Pioneer of the Nile, as was the Triple Crown winner American Pharaoh. And he was really impressive in the Arkansas Derby. So he's obviously one you want to think. But here's a horse I want to tell you about. His name is Thunder Snow.
Thunder Snow.
And Thunder Snow. He's I don't know. A few days ago, he was at like 25-1 or something. But they're shipping him in from Dubai.
Whoa! Wow.
Now, very few of these horses that have made this trip before for the Godolphin stable have been impressive. But this horse, he's been a beast on two continents. He's the only horse in the field that's run 1.25 miles at this point. And it's so hard I can't read the past performances because they measure everything differently overseas. But just the fact that you're willing to put this horse on an airplane and fly him to the United States, when you travel, you're not coming here to just be in the field. They're bringing this horse here because they think he's got a chance to win. So if you're one of these guys that bets a lot of exotics and stuff, I would certainly encourage you to include Thunder Snow in your bets.
When you're bringing in horses from other countries, you said Thunder Snow's coming in from Dubai. Is jet lag a factor in some of these? Is that why his odds are down to 20-1 right now?
Well, the reason is because the other horses that have made that same journey have not even made it into the money in the Derby. But I think you really have to look at horses on an individual basis, and this horse is extremely talented. And travel affects different horses differently. I mentioned Curlin, Irish Warcry's father. They put him on airplanes all the time, and they flew him all over the world. And what he did was he got off the plane and won every place they took him. So it's not it's like all of us. I mean, travel affects some of us differently than others. Some of us get really good at it. So.
Dang, well, that's absolutely right, though. I mean, that's the great thing about something like horse racing, though, too, is that it is at a different level than what I think some people are used to, and it's very exciting and it's entertaining in its own specific way as well, too. So I'm certainly excited. I'm going to be paying attention for sure.
Such a competitive sport at that too. So absolutely.
And it's so pure. We get irritated sometimes when we talk about the big salaries that our sports heroes earn. But these horses are just, I can't tell you how many Kentucky Derby winners I've been able to just feed peppermints to, and they're just happy to hang out with you. So they're just, no egos, just pure, unadulterated talent.
Adam on Facebook has one quick question. He says, "Do you buy 2 seats for the horse for first class?"
They have got specially equipped, big jets, and they fly bunches of them together.
Stable with wings.
Some of the horses. Now, I know Graham Motion is just trailering his horse in from. He's stabled in Maryland. They just made the drive to Kentucky. But there are horses. A lot of the California horses will come in on a jet, and they'll probably all come on the same jet. And they've got stalls on them and grain and hay, and the horses are happy as they can be. So, a lot more room than we have in first class.
Yeah,
so.
No kidding.
Adam
Not that
says
I ever
hopefully
fly
not
first
with
class.
United or Delta.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Well, George, we got to let you run, but we appreciate you taking the moment to swing by and give us a great insight into the world of the Kentucky Derby and horse racing as a whole too. I'm sure you'll be watching the Derby, as you mentioned, tomorrow too. But we'd love to have you back sometime next week to give us your official recap and everything that takes place, if you don't mind.
I'd be happy to do it.
Awesome, George. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, see y'all.
All right, there goes George Mallet here on Halftime. Great to hear from him. Some good insight about the Kentucky Derby. It's so interesting to me, like it is with all the other sports that are like those niche sports. Like you hear the golf people, the tennis people, the horse racing people,
Ping pong.
the ping pong people, like
Bowling.
like those people
Darts.
that are like the diehards are just absolutely in love with it. Like it's incredible, and you could hear, you could hear George smiling, talking about all this. Like
absolutely.
he is beside himself excited.
Well, that's a good thing.
We did pull our horse racing Stein out as well too, for those
Rightfully
watching.
so.
We have to, if we're going to honor the Kentucky Derby, we got to make sure, and horse racing as a whole, we got to make sure we've got our noble steed Stein here on the table this morning.
Very
cool. I do agree though with Adam. Hopefully they don't fly United or Delta. It would be a rather a shame, honestly.
Well, they charge extra for bags, so I just.
Do you think they just get? I mean, because what about the saddlebags though? If you're a horse, does that count as a carry-on if you've got the saddlebags on you?
I never really thought about. You always pay attention to the race, but you never think about how the horses get there, and travel has to be a factor for some of these, because
I never thought of that either.
Horses flying in from Dubai. I mean,
that's dedication.
I never thought about jet lag being an issue. Yeah, it is absolutely.
That is true.
So very cool.
A couple other quick check-in on the comments. Tom says he's just going to bet on every single horse to win, so he thinks he likes his odds to win. Adam also says that Irish war cry for the win, and he also says, "Hell yeah, George," giving them the Irish flag. So he also says, "Eso es mierda de caballo."
Is Tanner's mark warm yet? Nope. There's still some ice floating around in there.
I say I got 4 ice cubes in here, so we drank on the morning show today.
Did you really?
Jamie brought Coronas, and we drank, and
a long day for you.
It got loose.
You don't have any shows this afternoon, do you?
Thank God I don't. All I've had today has been I've had a cup of yogurt, and I've had a couple of pretzels.
And a Corona and a margarita.
That's all that's powering me on. But George also jumping in the comments fast too after just being on with us. So a very special thanks to you, George, for swinging by. George Mallet. For those in the Milwaukee area, you can catch him on today's TMJ4.
George says the best 2 minutes in sports is just hours away. Isn't that hilarious, though? He makes a good point.
It is.
For something that has so much buildup and so much history, I mean, the Masters goes on for 4 days, 4 whole days.
Seriously.
The Kentucky Derby is 2 minutes long, and it's just billions of dollars.
Hyped.
My gosh,
I wonder,
just insane.
I'm sure you're really good at finding the X amount of money gambled or
I'll
bet
look it
upon.
up.
I know you're really good at finding.
What was the last one I did? Oh, the NCAA championship or the NCAA tournament.
Right, and then
was
you
like $10.4 billion.
And then you did college football, NFL football, and that was like $95 billion. Is going to be gambled.
An absurd amount of money.
There's no good reason that it should be that people should be gambling that much.
I'll get on it. I'll put my intern on it.
Please, yeah.
Which are my 2 hands?
This is intern left, intern right hand.
That's right. Yes.
Speaking of things taking place in the sports world, if you have been anywhere near a device that has Wi-Fi, you've probably heard by now that Jay Cutler has signed a broadcast deal to work for Fox. He's going to be taking the spot in the booth where John Lynch used to be. That's not a bad upgrade. You go from John Lynch, who is now the GM of the 49ers.
It's not like...
I remember when I worked in broadcasting and could all of a sudden just be...
Was it Jim Nantz that Tony Romo replaced?
Well, he didn't replace Jim Nantz.
But he took his
Phil
spot.
Sims.
Or Phil Sims? Was it Phil Sims?
Yep, so it was Jim Nantz and Phil Sims.
Oh,
now it's Jim Nantz and Tony Romo.
Okay,
and now it's going to be Kevin Burkhardt and Jay Cutler.
Well, it's Jay Cutler replacing them. It's not necessarily on par with...
Is that a step down or a step up?
I think
or is
it
that
would be...
same level
I think
John
it's
Lynch?
like...
John Lynch wasn't bad. I like John Lynch.
If Jay Cutler does okay, I think they'll be at par. But Tony Romo has some big shoes to fill, I think, in Phil
Tony
Sims,
Romo's got
intended.
way more. He really does. Like Tony Romo's got more pressure on him than John Lynch, because John Lynch was number one, a phenomenal player.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Broadcaster, he's decent.
Jay Cutler also didn't have the expectations to retire, let alone become a broadcaster. We talked about him retiring, but we weren't really sure. We thought... if I had to put my money on it between him, Johnny Manziel, and Jake or Colin Kaepernick, I would have put my money on Jay coming back.
Right. I
and
thought Jay
playing
was
with
going to get
another
a job
team.
first more than anybody.
So he said he was still looking, but I mean
he's not officially signing the retirement papers.
Right,
He's going
that's
to
what I was
keep his
gonna say.
options open. And we asked this question on our Brew Sports Facebook page today too, and we'll ask it now on the air of who do you think is going to unretire first, Tony Romo or Jay Cutler?
You know, it's interesting because we talked about it yesterday on the show about how Jay's kind of following Tony Romo's footsteps now. He's hanging
Right.
out, you know, smoking
playing golf,
cigars in the
though.
Caribbean.
He's
And
not playing golf.
No, he's not playing golf. I don't think Jay could play golf either. But but he's following Tony's footsteps in the sense where he's like, oh, you know what? Retirement sounds pretty fun. I'm already loaded. I
Right.
can go make a ton more
Why
money
not?
working for some broadcast association. So moving over to Fox. I don't know who called who, but Jay Cutler officially going to Fox, and he was wise to not sign his retirement papers, much like Tony Romo, because it leaves the door open for them to come back at some point. So
David makes a very valid point. He says, when Jay Cutler throws it down to the on-field reporter, will he be picked off by a commercial break?
oh my God, come on. Only if it's airing in Green Bay.
Oh, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Oh, my
Wait,
gosh.
who said that?
David. Producer David.
David, 50 points to you, my friend.
Yes. Bringing the points back. Cheers to
Cheers
David.
to David.
Cheers to David.
Beautiful. This is
Hey!
oh my gosh. Just ridiculous.
But you're not wrong, though. I mean, what else do you make of this, though? Jay Cutler, is this going to continue to be a trend? Is Colin Kaepernick going to get a broadcasting job next? I hope not.
No, he won't.
Is this like what is kind of expected, though, from decent quarterbacks? If Matt Ryan never wins a Super Bowl, is he going to then become a broadcaster? You know? Like, I mean, I want Drew Brees in the booth. As soon as Drew Brees retires, I don't know why Peyton Manning is not in the booth. As soon as Aaron Rodgers retires, I want those guys in the booth immediately because they're super smart and they're funny and they're knowledgeable and they're going to give the game to you how you're going to want to have it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, to watch Tony Romo now and Jay Cutler comment on sports, we don't know what we're going to get from either of them, so it's going to be fun to just kind of...
My favorite thing in all of this, though, is the people that are saying, how in the world is this going to happen? I'm like, would you rather have Jay Cutler or Troy Aikman
Oh, God.
and Joe Buck? Like,
And Joe Buck.
I mean, I will take Kevin Burkhardt and Jay Cutler over Tony Romo and Joe Buck.
I don't know if
any
I've
day.
ever heard Jay Cutler speak.
I honestly don't know if I ever have either.
So I've heard Tony Romo speak.
I can try to find a clip of
Jay Cutler's never
speaking.
been in any was it Geico commercials? Or what were those commercials? This is
Who
Tony
are you?
Romo,
Oh, DirecTV.
DirecTV.
Those are freaking hilarious.
They're
though.
amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Arts and crafts, Tony Romo.
Yeah.
This is so funny. This
Right.
is so great.
Jay Cutler interview. Just give me something.
Okay.
There's also a bodybuilder named Jay Cutler. Let's see. This is Jay
They
Cutler.
should have signed him.
Jay Cutler 4 years ago. Jay Cutler, John Elway, Jay Cutler after interviews beat the Chicago Bears. Let's see if I can, once everything's done loading, I'll see if I can find some audio here. But yeah.
I couldn't find
John Fox.
the numbers on the Kentucky Derby. So if
No?
anybody
All
out
right,
there
here
can
we go.
find it,
I got Jay Cutler's voice. Let's check him out here.
I'll
Oops.
pick out there.
Oh, that's
you.
John Fox.
that's not Jay.
Jay, with how potent their defense had been for most of the season.
He looks so casual.
How do you put this performance in the proper frame with what you guys did?
It starts with the game plan. Dow, rest of the offensive staff. When I first saw it, we
Not
really
what I
liked it.
expected.
As we kind of progressed through the week, we liked to do more. Those guys did a heck of a job putting together.
He does not
Sets-
sound
sets a
like
heck
he
of a team.
cares
Defense,
at all.
Offensive line, play their tails off. Sit out, Kyle out.
Does he have the personality to be a broadcaster? I don't know,
Probably
man.
not.
Listening to that, it sounds. I mean, his enunciation just. I don't know if he's got it.
I don't think so. Yeah.
So okay, here's a question: with Tony Romo and Jay Cutler both
right.
pursuing broadcasting
Tony
careers
Romo's
now, trying to play in the
personable.
U.S. Open.
Well, no, I'm saying at least Tony Romo is like funny.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. With both of them now,
You know.
let's see, what they can do. Not just in broadcasting, but let's see how long they last before they get canned.
Tony Romo, and I have cable. Only DirecTV's NFL
Like,
Sunday ticket.
they're
lets you watch
phenomenal.
Every single game live, from start to finish. With cable, you don't get every game, so I channel my frustrations. using paper mache. I can pick out any game I want to watch.
His voice is a lot higher than I thought it was going to be, though. Like, hi.
Yes.
Hi, I'm
Hey,
Tony
you could be
Romo.
playing it though. I don't know.
Hi,
That's
Tony
funny.
Romo.
I love it. Good for Tony.
Yeah, Peyton
Go
Manning.
go win the U.S. Open, man.
You
Make
do
history.
You do you, Tony.
Be the only athlete to play in 3 professional sports.
Yeah. Patrick says every time he hears Cutler speak, he just hears come out of, I'm a loser, I'm a loser, I'm a loser.
Patrick must be a Packers fan.
Probably.
Probably. Man, you guys really hate on the Bears and Jay Cutler.
I don't hate on them. They bring it on themselves.
That's true.
I mean, like, you look for any reason to make fun of, like, the Jets or the Dolphins, so that way you don't look like the worst team in the division.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But,
It's
like,
true.
you don't hate them. You just look for a reason. To,
Yeah.
like, oh, the Jets are idiots again. Let's make fun of the Jets. Like, well, obviously, like, anytime the Packers, the Lions, and the Bears, they do it to themselves.
Yes.
You know, like the Vikings, they do it to
Ted
themselves.
Thompson.
Right. Everybody does something. I don't know if there's a team that's infallible that you can be like,
The Patriots.
but I mean, no.
Aside
like,
from the
but
cheating.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like you can always
Yeah.
come back to that.
That's
That-
true.
That's like the one thing. Patrick
the one thing.
Patrick wants to know. He says, Tanner, do you want me to start ragging on the Bills or Cutler?
Neither, really. But to be honest, anybody that makes fun of the Bills, I don't really care because we make fun of ourselves. So, and it's nothing we hadn't already heard before. Hey, guess what? We lost 4 straight Super Bowls in the 90s. Wide right. Hey, we haven't made the playoffs in 17 years. Music City Miracle. Who's your quarterback, though? Yes, okay, I've heard it all. I've heard it all. Believe me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for the Packers, it's where's your defense?
Why don't you guys pick up a free agent?
Yeah, that's it. Why don't you guys win a Super Bowl?
Where's your
Wait,
Where's your 3rd Hall of Fame quarterback in a row?
I don't know. We haven't gotten there yet. Give it time. That's all I would say. Like, I mean, seriously though, Jeff, Bears still suck. Obviously, David says kind of hard to hate the Bears when they keep making silly mistakes. It's actually kind of endearing.
Sound it out.
Endearing. It's so
May the
cute.
fourth
Maybe
be
they'll have
with
a
you.
real football team sometime. Well, I hate on the Bills. They're America's team. Said Adam.
America's team.
America's team, just like the Dalai Lama with the America's team.
Big hitter, the llama.
Big hit of the llama. That's all I could hear in my head last night, by the way. I was just like, I kept going around the house and was like, big hit of the llama.
Said when you die, you will have eternal consciousness. So I got that going for me,
Got
which
that
is
going
nice.
for me. That's right. That's very good. Jay Cutler was on an episode of The League. Of course he was.
Well, so was Ryan Fitzpatrick. So was Marshawn Lynch.
Well, that's
the
why they're all
Lynch
terrible.
one. The Marshawn Lynch one, however, was hilarious.
Right.
Did you see that one?
No, I don't watch The
It was
League.
this.
I have a real life.
It was the season after Seattle lost the Super Bowl.
Ah.
So they're all laying on a beach and like Marshawn's right there and like someone's calling for a beer and it's one of the guys at Marshawn and he goes, "Hey Marshawn, hand it over to me. I'll just throw it over to him." And he goes, "No, I think I'm just gonna run it over to him." He's like, "No, let me just give it to me. I'll throw it to him. What's the worst that could happen?" He goes, "No, really. Like I'll just run it over to him. It's easy. It's safe. We'll just make sure it gets there." So it was funny that they played off that. Clearly, Marshawn was a little upset about how that Super Bowl ended.
That's phenomenal. Adam thinks I'm hammered, by the way. He says, somebody get that kid some water. How am I hammered? I'm very conscious. What classifies me as being hammered? I know that's Tanner.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I know what buttons to press. Like, look, I'm going to change the lower thirds. Boom. BruceSportsNet.com. Find all our great insight there. Go to our host tab. Go to our programming schedule. Check out every show. It's
Look at
also
that.
available on Spreaker.com and on iTunes and
Crazy.
Facebook and YouTube.
Crazy.
Get at me.
Do we have anything else we want to hit on before?
Lonzo motherfucking Ball. That's who we need to talk
Yes.
about.
Yes.
So sick of this
Oh my God.
BS and
Oh
his
my God.
stupid freaking shoes.
mother flipping balls in this mother flipping sports world.
Flipping balls, flipping.
Why do there have to be so many balls in the sports world? There's too many balls.
Some balls have
Too many
dimples,
balls.
Some balls are long. Some balls are rectangular.
Some balls are deflated. There's some people just like their balls a little stiff. Aaron Rodgers said that, by the way.
Yes, he likes his ball stiff.
Yeah.
That's probably why he wins Super Bowls. Or
I
bowl,
remember
Super Bowl.
watching the Tom Brady press conference after the whole deflated football thing came out,
Yes.
and he goes, some people like their balls deflated, some people like them stiff, some people like them. I'm sitting there and I'm like, Tom, stop, please, it's too easy. It's too easy now. My God.
Giselle's at home texting him, being like, "Shut up, Tom!
Shut up.
Shut up! Know when to say enough, son." Good God, Robert Kraft is like, "Whatever, I'll get out of it.
Yeah.
I'll pay Goodell off. It's fine." Unbelievable. Speaking of football, you and I had talked about playing Madden. Is that going to be a thing?
Are we going to do that today?
I know we didn't even talk about LeVar Ball, Alonzo Ball. Do we need to talk about it? It's just frustrating. $495 for a freaking pair of shoes. Who gives a crap?
And LeVar came out and said that if you can't afford,
You ain't no big-
this is how ignorant LeVar Ball is. He
Straight
said
ignorant.
if you can't afford the big baller brand shoes, then you ain't no big baller. Guess what? I'm a big baller. Can't afford no big baller shoes. $500
Plus shipping and handling.
for a pair. We don't even know what we're getting out of these shoes.
They're probably going to tear
It's
in
not a
3
trusted
seconds.
brand.
I would rather buy a shoe from a wholesale Chinese dealer.
And wear those in a professional NBA game.
Yes. As opposed to wearing a big baller brand shoe.
Unbelievable.
Right. Adam says the Ball family came out with a shoe worth $495. What the
Yeah.
are they thinking? We need like your dolphin swearing noise from SpongeBob. What the are they thinking? Seriously though. Hey LeVar. Oh, I don't understand. Is their mom
Which
okay?
LeVar would say, my son's the GOAT,
Ah,
and
wait.
that's illegal.
It's getting a little hot in here, folks.
Trevor says Lonzo's shoes look like they're from Walmart. They do look like they're from Walmart, which is why I'm not paying $500 for them.
If I want to go to Walmart and get screwed, I'll...
He's probably making $495 off of each pair of shoes that they sell. And you know what's terrible? People are going to buy them. People will buy them.
Yeah. This is off the back of Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour saying, nah, not worth it.
The only way I would ever buy a pair is if they were $15 and I had LeVar Ball's signature on it, and I would frame it, put it in my man cave, and laugh at it every time I looked at it. I'd probably sell the other one. Just keep one shoe. I'd put it right next to Tom Brady's jockstrap.
Ah, there it is.
Tom's jockstrap.
Tom's jockstrap. My God. Tom Brady. He's the GOAT.
David says I would rather wear Crocs than LeVar's shoes. Crocs, the wiffle balls of shoes. Yes, and they probably have better traction on a basketball court
Crocs.
than LeVar Ball's shoes. Also, is this LeVar Ball's shoes?
Yes.
And is Lonzo just marketing
Yes.
them? See, this is ridiculous because Lonzo doesn't have a choice.
No.
He probably signed a contract
Save Lonzo.
with his dad.
We should start a crowdfunding
Save
campaign
Lonzo?
to rescue Lonzo.
Let's do it. We'll make T-shirts.
We
Hashtag
should.
Save Lonzo.
Hashtag Save Lonzo.
We're gonna go viral with this.
Yes. Hashtag Save Lonzo. I'm telling you right now. Get it trending, folks. Hashtag Save Lonzo. Put it in the comments section. I'm all about it. I'm going to do it right now from Bruce Sports. Hashtag
Save Lonzo.
Lonzo.
Oh my gosh.
Pin in the comment. Everybody go and like hashtag Save Lonzo right meow.
Unbelievable.
Do it. Let's see those hashtag Save Lonzos. Let them pour out.
Let them pour out.
Save Lonzo.
Oh my gosh.
Save Lonzo. Hashtag Save Lonzo. You've heard it here first. We need to run like a Navy SEALs operation to go and save him. Poor guy. We need to hire a cult deprogrammer.
A cult?
That's what it says. We need to
right.
hire a cult deprogrammer. I don't even know what that means.
Uh,
Hey, Tom's on board. Hashtag Save Lonzo.
All right.
Appreciate it, Tom.
LeVar himself. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
You're not wrong there.
But I mean, we want to save hashtag Save Lonzo. That's what we really care about. People are actually. People are already doing this.
Oh my gosh.
People already have.
All right.
Only one person has done the hashtag Save Lonzo.
All right, I have to play something really quick.
What are you playing?
Pat-
Dave also says, since we all hate LeVar so much, are we feeding him into what he wants by talking about his stupidity? If we want him to go away, let's just not bring this stuff up.
Patrick
You're not wrong.
Patrick posted something, and it's titled "Those Balls Are Perfect." Tom Brady songified. I don't
What's
know.
that even mean?
I don't know, but I've never heard it. I want to play a little segment, a little bit of it. Let's see here.
Lane, how did you guys on that sideline not know what was going on the field with respect to the balls and that there was obviously an issue with the balls?
I don't think anybody knew there was an issue with the balls. To me, those balls are perfect. I can only speak for myself. I don't
Tom Brady.
want anyone touching the balls, rubbing the balls. To me, those balls are perfect. Some guys like them round and some guys like them thin. Some guys like old balls, new balls. They're all different, so you gotta feel them and you gotta squeeze them. To me, those balls are all perfect.
All right, then. Well, this has been Music Time with Tom Brady.
That was amazing.
That was. I'm glad
Thank you,
everybody's...
Patrick, for providing some beautiful content today.
My God.
Wow.
Everybody's getting on board. David, Trevor, Josh, Pat, everybody. Luis. Hashtag save Lonzo.
Oh, man.
Phenomenal. Tom Brady, everybody.
Tom Brady, everyone.
Tom
All
freaking
right.
Brady.
All right.
How are we going off the rails today? Are we doing anything of relevance for people today?
Should we play a match? We wouldn't play it. We would simulate a game of Madden between the Bills and the Packers from 2008.
We could.
Do you want to do that?
We have the technology.
Let's do it.
All right.
Why not? We got time. We got full margaritas. Might as well.
Ah.
Yeah,
Ah.
why not?
All right, that's fun.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right, well, we'll be back in a little bit then, folks. Right for halftime off the rails, part 2.
Take a 5-minute break. We'll be right back.
Oh, yeah. We'll be back. Hang tight. Madden, Packers, Bills, 2008. Back with more on halftime right after this.